Bienvenidos and welcome to today's lesson. We're going to be studying criminal legal terminology with the letter B. And to go with the theme, today's eyeshadow, we're going to focus on the color blue. I'm going to play with this color specifically, and I have this Color Pop shade. And let's start. I've already primed my eyelids with the Milani eyeshadow primer recommended by my girl Emily Noel on YouTube. And let's start with the word bail. Bail and then closely related bond. So bail. Bail is the amount that the court is going to set to release a defendant from custody pending trial. Now bond is where a third party gets involved. Bond is when, let's say, bail is set for $50,000. The defendant doesn't have $50,000. And that's kind of where also the word bail bondsman, or that when they get involved. So a bond is the money that a third party is going to put, and then you can post it to pay the bail. Bail caución. Bond fianza. Bail is caución. I've gone into so much detail about bail, caución, bond fianza, that I've just totally neglected to start doing my eyeshadow. So what I'm gonna do is, starting with the deepest blue, I'm gonna put it generously on my brush, tap it on the center of my lid, and start blending it across the full thing, and then start blending up. And you see that first layer, it's pretty light. We're gonna build it up some more. And it doesn't have to be precise. We're gonna go in with other shades to deepen it up and create the shape that I'm looking for. But right now, just wanna get the general sense of color. Bail, caución, bond, fianza. And saying bond is the exact same thing as saying bail bond. So if in a test or just you hear bail bond, bond certificate, all of those are going to be interpreted as fianza. Now that I have the blue just laid down, we're gonna add this shimmer on top of it. So I'm gonna start applying. And I had mentioned bail bondsman. Bail bondsman, if we know bail, a bail bond is the same thing as a bond. So a bail bondsman is a fiancista. Bail bondsman, fiancista. You can see how it's become more periwinkle, more the shade of this shirt, lighter, sparklier, dun, dun, dun. Gonna do the same to this eye now. So again, we have bail, which is the amount set by the court that they are going to get paid in cash. Bail caución, bail bond bond certificate, fianza, bail bondsman, fiancista. All right, now that I have the blue, I'm gonna start deepening it up. I'm bringing in another palette that my cousin, shout out Natalie if you're watching this, got me a few years ago. This is the Reina del Caribe palette by Alamar Cosmetics. We're gonna go into the deepest brown, cafecito. And to do this, I'm going to get a small, dense brush and just focus it where I want it on the outer V of my eyes. Just laying the color exactly where I want it. I wasn't gonna go for a very structured look. I wanted to diffuse this some more, but I kind of like it, so I don't think we're gonna diffuse that wing that we're seeing because I like how that looks. Gonna do the same thing to this eye. Freedom, their family paid for a bail bondsman, a fiancista, so they could be released, and then they skip town. They never make it to their court date. What's gonna happen? That bail is forfeit. Now it's bail forfeiture. Bail forfeiture. Confiscación de la caución. Because bail is caución. Bail forfeiture. Confiscación de la caución. All right, now that we have the eyeshadow done, I'm gonna do my eyebrows. Alrighty, this is what we're looking at so far. I like it. We're going to review bail bond terms and then move on with next in the letter B. Bail, caución. Bail bond, bond certificate, bond, fianza, bail bondsman, fiancista, bail forfeiture, confiscación de la caución. For foundation, I have the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. It's mattifying in the shade 20 Rose Beige. I'm going to dab it on a finger and starting at the center of my face, start putting it on and swiping it around. Now that I got that smeared all over, we're gonna blend. Next word, battery. Battery. Agresión física. Battery, agresión física. And if you're thinking to yourself, that word agresión, that sounds familiar. Let's think about that. If you watched yesterday's video or vocab terms A, you might remember that agresión is assault. Agresión is assault. Battery, agresión física. Now that the foundation is all blended in, I'm going to move on to concealer. Just in case you didn't watch the video with terms A, or as a reminder, assault is one of those words that have a false cognitive, where you might want to say asalto, but that is not the interpretation of assault. Assault is agresión. Asalto means armed robbery. So assault, agresión, battery, agresión física, and to add to this, assault and battery, agresión con lesiones. I'm gonna start now blending the concealer. My Juvia's Place bronzer. Let's recap our battery, agresión física, assault, agresión, assault and battery, agresión con lesiones. Next word is burglary. Burglary is escalamiento. Burglary, escalamiento. And the history of the word burglary, or the interpretation, escalamiento, is pretty interesting. Escalamiento comes from escaleras, when people would either enter, going up a window or over a wall using a ladder, an escalera. And so that's how burglary was committed back in the day. And the word stuck, burglary, escalamiento. And these are kind of memory tricks or anything you can do to make the memorization more fun or memorable. Burglary, escalamiento. And that is it for bronzer. Next word, breaking and entering. Before we get to that interpretation, the blush is the NYX Buttermelt blush. I have this one in my Butter Half, a cool pink. Breaking and entering, allanamiento de morada. Breaking and entering, allanamiento de morada. That is pigmented. I should have tapped some off on the back of my hand, but I'm just gonna keep with the pigment, put it on the other cheek, just so that they both match. And it's crazy right now. But now I'm going to put this on the back of my hand and then blend it out. Breaking and entering, allanamiento de morada. Moving on with our terms. Bench warrant, orden de arresto judicial. Bench warrant, orden de arresto judicial. I'm going to curl my eyelashes and not show that to you so as to not traumatize you. I just finished curling my eyelashes and applying mascara using my Tarte Maneater mini mascara. If you thought bench warrant sounded familiar and you watched my video with terms A, it might be because you remembered arrest warrant. Arrest warrant was orden de arresto. Bench warrant, orden de arresto judicial. Final step for the makeup look is the lipstick. This is pretty bold, so we're gonna try to keep it more neutral here. All right, I just went to my lipstick collection and pulled out the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip in the shade Rose. And we're going to also introduce our final vocab term, bribery. Bribery. To interpret this one, context is going to be crucial. To give a bribe is sobornar, but to accept a bribe is delito de cohecho or cometer un cohecho. So bribery is going to depend on whether it's giving or taking. So to give a bribe, sobornar. To accept a bribe, delito de cohecho o cometer un cohecho. All right, and then this is today's final makeup look. I really wanted to do the blue eyeshadow to go with the shirt. Let me try to show it off. You can see my Howl's Moving Castle shirt. It was a Christmas present from my partner. All right, I'm gonna go over all of the terms for a review. Let's see if you got them. I'm gonna give it a second in between each term so you can try to say it before I give you the answer. Let's go. Bail, caución, bond, fianza, bail bondsman, fiancista, bail forfeiture, confiscación de la caución, battery, agresión física, burglary, escalamiento, breaking and entering, allanamiento de morada, bench warrant, orden de arresto judicial, bribery, to give a bribe, sobornar, to accept a bribe, delito de cohecho o cometer un cohecho. Gracias.